The idea of fear, does it come from your parents? Does it come from the environment? Or is it part of the human experience, stepping up on a stage? That fear that we feel, does that go back to our ancestors? The fear of a spider, is that from our mom screaming? I'm looking at these two fears, one thinking that it's built in you, the other is that is the rewiring process that our parents laid within us.
The answer is both. Fears in the past have translated down into the future. I had a client, she gets on one of my calls and she starts crying. She says, Dr. T, I just found out that my daughter went through a pretty horrific situation when she was 14 years old. I said, wow, that's really tough. Happy to help whatever I can. She says, no, you don't understand. I was 14 when I had the same thing happen to me. My mother was also 14 when it happened to her. There is an epigenetic linkage to this experience. But at the same time, your brain will hold on to these perceptions, these memories, these triggers in its psychology as a form of protection. So if we think that we're ever going to live without fear, that is an absolute delusion. All you're doing is raising the bar of what you can experience. Your brain is always going to keep you in the state of protection. The only reason anyone is afraid is because they just perceive whatever the action they have to take is more painful. That's it.
When it comes to getting you to where you need to go to get to the next version of you, most of the things that probably holding back, I would assume, are illogical.
Here's the thing about fear that we haven't discussed. It's usually losing the addiction that causes fear. Problem is you start becoming successful. Now you've got this money, you've got this house, you got this car. Now you're afraid of taking that next action step because it's not the next step you're afraid of. What if I take this step and I lose everything I've built? That is the addiction to what you've built.